at TGS this year. Something just to like hint it. But do you know that list we've just been listing out all those games? It then says on the bottom, publishers will be on stage: Ubisoft, EA, Konami, Capcom, Warner Brothers, Activision, Square Enix, and Take-Two will be on the stage
Sony
as well.
has taken over all of gaming.
And apparently, the only one shooter that's a little bit busy is Soccer Punch with their DLC.
Whatever.
What?
This thing is totally.
We can dream.
It's got to be a joke. I'm sure that they do have. Me and you were talking about this, like from the very business side of E3. I'm sure they have a couple games that they don't want to show, but say Microsoft has a massive showing that they're going to say, okay, we got to get this ready and show off a demo. But I can't see this full list making it. Do you want to make a prediction or two here though for something that is either on this list or not on this list that you think Sony will for sure show?
To be honest, I think this pretty much covers everything I could possibly think about. I can't think of anything like that would. I can't think of anyone else that's available on the list, but I reckon we will see something on. I'd like to see. I'd love to see something on. I don't know. I'd like to see something on Uncharted, obviously, but I think that's pretty guaranteed. That's not
sure.
Really
the one that I don't see on this list, and that I think could be really cool and totally unexpected, would be if Mark Cerny did bring back Crash Bandicoot. You know, there were talks that they rebought the IP back, and
Sony bought them back, or
they do something. You know, Knack was sort of a test ground and trial for a new Crash Bandicoot. Now that they know the engine and know the way that the PS4 architecture works, like if they could bring Crash back in some way, I think that would be like. Imagine the captions and like the headlines of stories if Crash came back. Like that would be a real. I just think for gamers in general, if Sony did that, it would be a nice touchstone for people to focus in on. You know, it's not as iconic as Mario or whatnot, but still a lot of people know who it is.
I think it's a very, very iconic character, along there probably with Lara Croft. It's just people our age played that game, like so much, and we played all of them probably as well. We just loved them, and it just stopped. I'm sure it was selling still quite well. I think they just stopped to move on to different projects. But I personally would love to see the PS4 graphics with Crash Bandicoot. Would be amazing. I just fall in love again.
I think it would be very cool. I don't know what kind of game it would be. If it would just be like a Crash Bandicoot game, or if they would try and put him in some other genre. But I think it could be a real.
Do you think he'd play out like Knack? That sort of. I hope it's not. Personally.
I would have to say probably, like as sad as that might be. I love Knack, to be honest with you. I think Knack is very underrated and way more challenging than it looks at first. So Knack is almost Crash Bandicoot without Crash Bandicoot. The way that he moves and the actions that he has do feel very similar. So something like that is probably the most plausible, actually.
If it's good, if it looks good, I'll be very, very excited about that. For sure.
I think Sony needs to show off a lot, because the only game we know about is the one we didn't talk about, which is The Order, and I don't know if that says anything that we didn't even mention the thing, but The Order does not. It doesn't get me excited. Does it get you excited?
It gets him more excited than you. I think it looks. It's sort of set in London, isn't it? Like an old.
But what's the grab?
London,
like, what is the? Like, if you're going to say, okay, Sunset Overdrive is this fast-moving, colorful game, if we're going to say God of War is this vicious, myths and legends brawler, like, what is the grab of The Order? Old guys in London?
It just looks like the graphics.
Like, it's a pretty game.
Yeah, I mean, that's... I don't know. It doesn't look like the most immersive gameplay.
I just think it doesn't have a hook. Like, okay, Lara Croft, you've got this like beautiful girl, and she's like running through, and water's dripping down her chest, and like that's all sweet.
I think you enjoyed it a bit too much.
She was so pretty. That's all good. Uncharted, got this wisecracking Drake, and I just don't see the hook of The Order, especially because it's all new characters. I don't know how you sell that game, because I guess you can show the graphics, but as we've seen from YouTube compression, TV commercials, nothing looks as good as it does in person. So The Order seems like such a strange investment of resources if they end up pushing that hardcore. I don't know. I'm very, very interested to see if The Order is like a pinnacle point of their show, like that is the culmination of the show, The Order, here's our huge game, or if it's sort of like The Order, like we have The Order, but there's all this other stuff. And I could see it going either way.
I think it's gonna be more of like here's The Order, here's like So people playing it and then they go off. It's not gonna be like a massive like, oh my god. It's gonna be like just like here's the gameplay, looks amazing, enjoy it. It will come out this year. Here's Uncharted.
Yeah, that's my thinking is that the order gets a little bit, and that means that they have to have something else because they need a big game for October, November, maybe December. And if the order slots in probably earlier in October, then what is their huge game? We've asked it many times, but I'm going to ask you again. Uncharted 4, any chance of coming out this year?
Zero chance. Okay, it's rumored to come out in this particular bit of dialogue here is summer 2015, so next year. So I think that's fairly accurate.
I think so too. I just can't see what else they're going to put releasing this fall. I do think that Project Beast has a chance. If Project Beast was honestly ready to be shown in TGS last year, September, that's 9 months of more development time that it could be ready. This thing rumors The Last Guardian for 2014. I find that
possible winter
very hard to believe. But
I'd love to see that game come out. It's just when I saw it originally, I was like, I need to play this.
Yeah, it was really it looks so cool, and I feel people have just soured on it because of the time. Now, if we shift over to Microsoft. What are you? We don't have any leaks for them yet, but what are you hoping for the Xbox One? We know they have to have a big show. We know that they have to really bring the heat in order to even compete with Sony. So what are you hoping to see?
I'm just looking for them to just push these new games. I keep forgetting that game now that's coming out. The one that's done by Alan Wake guys.
Quantum Break.
Yeah, I keep thinking of Quantic Dreams.
Right.
That's a bit of a mix up. I'm really looking for a big push on that. Show some like proper like game plan stuff. Also, Sunset Overdrive, and really just sort of push those games. I think we're going to see a lot on Halo as well. I think they're going to try and push the Kinect a little bit because I don't think anyone's really using it. I even like the fact that Insomniac come and said, "Oh no, there's nothing to do with the Kinect."
Yeah, that was strange too. They're like, "We don't want you jumping around the room. We want you playing with the controller." Like, ouch, burn.
Because essentially they like linked up and they're friends now. It's all kicked me in the balls a bit, but anyway. Yeah, I'm looking for a big push on that.
If your exclusives aren't even using Kinect, I don't think it has much hope. It's again very odd that they doubled down on Kinect. They're like, "This is the future. We're making the push," and yet our games don't use it almost at all. That it's just
I don't use it personally in my day-to-day life.
I don't either.
Really
it was really cool like the first week, and I mean me personally, I hope that they don't focus on it. I think it's a distraction, and I think from a press and media coverage point, it's like it's got to be old for them too. Like, yay, wave of our arms and do this again. Really, like I would love to see them just be how they have been. I think their show last year, of course they had some hiccups with the whole download only, online only, debacle. But game after game after game, if they can say, hey, Quantum Break from Alan Wake developers this year, Sunset Overdrive looking super cool, Insomniac's culmination of all their work this year.
Halo gameplay.
Yeah, Halo, we've heard that it's Halo 2 anniversary for this year, which doesn't make me happy at all, but I'm sure would sell a boatload. But I think
so well. But, I mean, I would like to see them show the new game as well in some fashion, even just a short little bit of gameplay. Maybe.
I think they have to show gameplay. I think they're at the point where they have to ask themselves the question, why Xbox One, and they need to answer that. And Sunset Overdrive is super cool, but that's not the answer. Titanfall was supposed to be the answer, but I don't think it was. They're not even
sold 1 million on the PC and Xbox One, which isn't really. It's not too bad, but it's not great.
It's like okay for a new IP that doesn't have a lot at stake, but for a game that was supposed to be like the savior for Microsoft, it's not enough.
People are saying that game's gonna be more of like it's got like a tail to it, so people are gonna keep buying it and like gradually keep buying it. But also the second game's gonna be a little bit more of a push. And that's where people think they're going to jump onto it. We've got a little bit more customization and stuff and really go for that game. I think people just weren't like, perhaps played the beta and it was like, I'm done with it. Goodbye.
It was a very weird cycle for Titanfall. So I think they have to have something that says, this is why you buy an Xbox One. Mm-hmm. And I think one thing that they could announce that would be a huge boost for them, even if it is multi-platform, if they showed at their show, would be GTA 5 next gen. I think if they brought out Rockstar and had... Yeah. A crazy Trevor mission on stage in brand new graphics. That would be a real great moment for them. In terms of unannounced stuff, I don't know. I mean, I think
I could also, sorry about that GTA point. They could also say we're getting single player DLC first as well. Maybe
they could do that, or at least a timed exclusive on whenever the first DLC pack is, because we've heard nothing about that.
Well, they could, or they could announce the Fallout in their conference as well, maybe, because they're quite close with Microsoft, perhaps.
Yeah, we could get Fallout 4. I'm sure BioWare will be there with Dragon Age Inquisition. Do you think is that a big enough game to be at either Microsoft